Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. May I please have your attention? We are ready to begin the convocation ceremony in just a few minutes. May I also request you to please ensure that your mobile phones are switched to silent mode and that you are wearing your mask at all times.
We request everyone to take your seats as the program gets underway with the academic procession.
authenticity, respectfulness, benchmark professionalism. The Vedika Scholars Program for Women recognizes these qualities in young women who are visibly committed to personal growth, professional integrity, and academic excellence. Our fifth cohort of Vedika Scholars, class of 2020, is ready to take on the world today, and we are here to celebrate their graduation. Over the last 5 years, we have expanded to a universe of 16 governing council members, almost 250 Vedika scholars, over 150 visiting faculty members and guest speakers, and over 200 mentors. It's been humbling to see the incredible power of a simple idea.
Good afternoon and a big warm welcome to our ever-growing family of friends and well-wishers. It is an absolute pleasure for my colleague Rapsimar Kaur and I, Shreya Agarwal, to host this celebration today. In the last 18 months, we have watched these 62 women outside and inside classes complaining about grueling days, placement processes, and of course, our strict attendance policy. Needless to say, the last year has been unprecedented in more ways than one. And despite the enormous disruption, pain, and anxiety all of us have endured this year, we believe there is always much to be grateful for. And while we feel surreal and a little nervous about our scholars stepping out into the challenging and uncertain outside world of today, we feel comforted with the values they hold dear and the deep bonds they have established to hold them in good stead. It is a pleasure to watch them transform through this journey and to transform along with them. We can't even begin to imagine what the next few months would feel like with them not being around anymore.
Each year at Vedika, we seek for a guest of honor, a woman of inspiration and tenacity, a trailblazer in their field, and an exemplary role model for our scholars. With these expectations, we would be hard pressed to find a more befitting guest of honor than the Honorable MLA Atishi. To celebrate this memorable occasion, we are privileged to welcome you, Atishi. Atishi is a leader of the Aam Aadmi Party and a member of the party's Political Affairs Committee. Until April 2018, she served as education advisor to the Delhi government and played a pivotal role in revamping the state of education in government-run schools in the national capital. Atishi is also a committed activist who has chosen the hard path of politics to achieve lasting change. She has spent 7 years in a small village in Madhya Pradesh, where she got involved in organic farming and progressive education systems. Atishi has been a part of AAP since the time of its inception and works tirelessly towards the welfare of the society with special attention to the education system. Her passion for mass politics and expertise in policy makes for a potent combination and a breath of fresh air in Indian politics. We're delighted to host her at the Vedika convocation ceremony to inspire our scholars as they step out into the professional world. Thank you, Atishi, for making time to be here today.
We will now commence the function with the Dean's address. Anuradha Das Mathur, the founder and Dean of Vedika, inspires us every day to pursue our best selves and find the courage to lead authentic lives. Her vision is what has brought Vedika to its 6th year today. We are extremely privileged to have her enthusiasm, her infectious optimism, and warmth in our lives. Please welcome Anuradha Das Mathur.
Today, as we gather for Vedika's fifth convocation ceremony in the midst of a global pandemic, I'm acutely conscious of the importance of and as opposed to or. We are proud and humbled, excited and subdued, cautious and courageous, fragile and resilient, adaptable and preserving, ambitious and grateful, individualistic and collective, and I could go on. Witnessing unprecedented disruption, trauma, and pain over the last 10 months has made sure that even as we pursue success for our individual selves, we remain mindful of our opportunities, responsibilities to the world. Vedika is committed to fostering young women to be great professionals, great human beings, and great citizens. The flip side of this mission is what Winston Churchill said: the price of greatness is responsibility. And we at Vedika are totally up for it. I'm Anuradha Das Mathur, and on behalf of the Vedika family, it is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you in person on this sunny winter afternoon to the graduation of the Vedika class of 2020. We feel somber and concerned by the events around us, but it is equally important that we don't become despondent or lose our lightheartedness. For there is always light, if only we are brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it, as the young Amanda Gorman reminded us less than 72 hours ago. We grew up being told, if you see it, believe it. I prefer an alternate, which is, if you believe it, you will see it. And therefore, I still see light, hope, goodness, and the possibilities of a better future for all of us. Because even if life doesn't get better, we get better at life. Fortunately for now, there are enough silver linings that suggest things are indeed getting better. A new administration in the US, a lady vice president who represents many, many firsts, vaccines across the world, a historic cricket win for India with many life lessons thrown in, and lastly, and most importantly, for all of us at Vedika, a newfound respect and admiration for the world's women leaders in the wake of this global pandemic. A study of 194 countries suggests that those with women leaders have fared better overall, prominently Norway, New Zealand, Iceland, Germany, and Taiwan. The important question to ask is why? The popular explanations talk about the leadership styles of these women, which is seen as more collective than individual, more collaborative than competitive, and more coaching than commanding. In addition, they had clarity in favor of a public health focused response. They imposed lockdowns coupled with transparent and compassionate communication using facts around public health. Simple, isn't it? But so very rare. Are there then lessons for us in these examples? I believe yes. First, we must focus on inclusivity. The most successful leaders included everyone in their plans. Erna Solberg, the Norwegian Prime Minister, held a coronavirus instructional event for children to ease their fears despite the fact that they don't have a valid vote. Second, we must be authentic. In the early days of the virus, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern hosted an informal social media chat to check in with everyone. Dressed informally and addressing the nation from her home, she said, "Excuse the casual attire, it can be a messy business putting toddlers to bed. Now is the time to remove unnecessary barriers between the personal and the professional and shed the pretense." Third, we must be truthful. Truth builds trust. Great leaders manage uncertainty by showing what they know, what they don't know, and sharing the optimism that you'll all get through something together. Chancellor Angela Merkel did just that when Germany was first reeling from the coronavirus. She used facts, took advice from medical practitioners, but never shied away from voicing unsettling truths. And last, we must be confident enough to take decisions. Under the watchful eye of President Tsai Ing-wen, Taiwan had one of the lowest coronavirus death counts in the world, despite its proximity to the first epicenter in Wuhan. Having learned some tough lessons from the SARS outbreak, they had a government pandemic plan and the infrastructure in place. They took tough early decisions to control the virus. The challenges of the 21st century, climate change, public health, fast depleting global resources, aging populations, social inequities, and disruptive new technologies all require multidimensional leadership, leadership that incorporates all these attributes and more. I feel fortunate that ever since our inception, we have endeavored to inculcate these values in each one of you, and year after year, you do us proud. Thinking about our inception, it seems like yesterday when we were a mere idea on paper. Today, we are almost six. We are ready to graduate our fifth batch and have welcomed our sixth batch of almost 120 scholars. Last year, we shifted gears from talking about how far we have come to where we want to go. And we have made progress on that score. Not only have we doubled in size, we have done so in the face of a pandemic. We have done so at a time when enrollments have been a challenge in educational institutions around the world. This, to me, is a testament of the Vedika promise and an occasion for even deeper gratitude. When we set out, our purpose was simple: to leave the world better for young women, much better than we had found it. To start building a cadre of women equipped to succeed in their careers, women who at 45 would not say regretfully that I could have done so much more. And that's how our program was born, a unique, perhaps the only one of its kind, 18-month Management Plus Plus residential program. Today, we have earned a reputation stronger than our 5 years would suggest, and a dream much bigger than the one we set out to build. To make it to this point, especially during a pandemic, which called for a complete lockdown, has been a tough ride and has had its own set of challenges. But it has reinforced the idea that the road to good things can never be singularly rosy. As an example, we are working much harder than previous years to ensure that every Vedika scholar has an appropriate placement. With our efforts, some luck, and the abundant goodwill that we are fortunate to receive from all quarters, I am confident that we will maintain our unblemished track record on this score. This challenging year has also brought other realizations to the fore. Our scholars will remember, last year around the same time, I had spoken about the symbolism of five. Five stands for humanity and togetherness. Five senses, five major systems in the human body, five fingers, all of which come together to create one whole, which is stronger than the sum of its parts. This year has made humanity come together to sacrifice individual comforts and freedoms that lead to the greater good. It has shown us the strength of communities and how it is possible to build and nurture them despite physical distance. The number five also finds its place in Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. In one way or another, in each of them, it suggests that overcoming hardships is the way of life and a path to becoming our best selves. And this is the essence of Vedika scholars: women who confront complexities with grit and grace to become better versions of themselves every day. This afternoon, at our fifth convocation ceremony, I want to invite your support, encouragement, goodwill, and the blessings for the journey ahead. But before I do that, I do want to highlight the core of Vedika and what we hope it will continue to stand for in the face of time. Vedika's genesis lies in a conversation around women's dignity and the stark realization that dignity and dependence don't go hand in hand. You all know this, right? Dignity and dependence don't go hand in hand. And if we wanted women to live with dignity, they needed to be independent, independent enough to reject anything lesser: intellectual, emotional, physical, and financial independence. And then came the next realization that financial independence makes the other three a tiny bit easier. We needed a program that helped women achieve financial independence, build and sustain their careers, make sure that these young women don't quit. We designed a curriculum that teaches them the core competences they need at the workplace, but equally, if not more importantly, teaches them all other attributes critical for success: confidence, self-awareness, the right attitude, resilience, courage, and sisterhood. Unlike many other programs, we urged our scholars to be themselves. Pramatraj Sinha, now widely recognized as the father of world-class institutions of higher education, was committed to the idea. His mentorship and guidance on how to think about it was the kernel of everything we have today. Our illustrious governing council was the next step, and their presence has been an ever-vigilant conscience that continues to guide us every step. Now, in our 6th year, beyond the hours of instruction, the cohort, faculty, members, and mentors, I will share some highlights, especially in the context of the pandemic. We try every day to take best decisions in the interest of our scholars. In the midst of the lockdown, it was becoming evident that our scholars missed being on campus, that online had its advantages, but couldn't substitute for the touch and feel that is integral to the human experience. And therefore, while we upgraded our digital infrastructure and adapted to the online world, we opted for a blended model as soon as in-person became a possibility. Since October, we have had a mix of on-campus and online classes. We opened up our residential facilities at the first opportunity and have more than 75 scholars living across our hostels. We adapted our attractive shadow module to the virtual mode and were able to get several international shadow mentors as well. We built a repository of best practices for online instruction and have consistently strived to improve the delivery of our education to our scholars. We have been aware of the pressure and stress amongst our young women during this time and have adopted practices to reduce reasons for anxiety. For example, done away with grades for class participation. We have regular digital detox breaks and longer vacations to deal with the unusual digital fatigue. On placements, we have placed a little over 50% of our class. This is behind previous years. We believe our aggressive outreach and customized support for each scholar will yield results, and over the next couple of months, we will fulfill our promise of assured placements to each one of you. Some things have carried on normally, and the Vedika Writing and Communication Center continues to thrive, and we are often told by our recruiters that our scholars stand apart for their communication skills. What else were we able to get started in this very dramatic year? With the aim of extending the Vedika opportunity to more deserving young women across the country, we increased our efforts to raise CSR funds. We hope to receive money committed to women's education, women's empowerment, and other themes that resonate with Vedika's mission. We have early support from patrons and are privileged that some of them have extended continued support over the years, like MMTC PAMP, Western Digital, Renew Power, Shriham Housing, and Max India Foundation. In running the Vedika program, we have also understood the power of communities, our alums, their families, our program mentors, recruiters, and our shadow mentors. This year, we are starting to build these communities in a more deliberate way. In September 2020, we launched the Vedika Women's Alliance, a network of senior women professionals that aims to advocate, aggregate, and amplify voices of women leaders from across the country. And we've been hugely encouraged by its early success. We also revisited our vision, mission, and plan for Vedika at 10. We have committed ourselves to being a great place to study, a great place to teach, and a great place to work. So far, we have done well by our scholars. We hope to do the same for our faculty and the remarkable Vedika team. We have also launched an earnest search for a campus in Delhi, a place which we can unhesitatingly call home in the years to come. What remains firm and distinctive through all of these new developments is the story of transformation of a Vedika scholar. We witness with immense pride the deep transformation, both personal and professional, in our young women at Vedika through experiences within and outside the classroom. This is made possible because of our commitment to providing them a safe space. With much gratitude, we have reason to feel proud and validated. We recognize today more than ever before that goodwill is perhaps the world's richest currency and most certainly our most treasured armor. And we promise to keep it that way. After everything has been said, Vedika is ultimately and only about our scholars. We are here and will remain grateful to every young woman who walks in through our doors with faith and courage to take a bet on us. And also in equal measure to their parents and families. In this odd year, when we can't be together, parents, please know that you matter, and we will always, always owe you. And as each one of you Vedika scholars go out into the world to embrace your new life, I have many wishes for you. But today, above all, I want to wish you the courage to be authentic. Don't fake it. Don't run someone else's race. Don't chase someone else's dream. Don't fight someone else's fight. Be the better version of yourself every day. In this year that has tested all of us and reminded us to think hard about what is important to us, I also want to read you a message often attributed to Pope Francis, one of my favorites, but our plagiarism software tells me it's fake news. Nonetheless, it is words of wisdom and rings true, given that we want most for each one of you is happiness. Happiness wherever you are. So here goes. You can have flaws, be anxious, and even be angry. But do not forget that your life is the greatest enterprise in the world. Only you can stop it from going bust. Many appreciate you, admire you, and love you. Remember that to be happy is not to have a sky without a storm, a road without accidents, work without fatigue, relationships without disappointments. To be happy is to find strength in forgiveness, hope in battles, security in the stage of fear, love in discord. It is not only to enjoy the smile, but also to reflect on the sadness. It is not only to celebrate the successes, but also to learn lessons from your failures. It is not only to feel happy with the applause, but to be happy in anonymity. Being happy is not a fatality of destiny, but an achievement for those who can travel within themselves. To be happy is to stop feeling like a victim and become your destiny's author. It is to cross deserts, yet to be able to find an oasis in the depths of our soul. Being happy is not being afraid of your own feelings. It is having the courage to hear a no. It is the confidence in the face of criticism, even when unjustified. It is to kiss your children, pamper your parents, to live poetic moments with friends, even when they hurt us. It is to have maturity to be able to say, I made a mistake. It is to have the courage to say, I am sorry. It is to have the sensitivity to say, I need you. It is to have the ability to say, I love you. May your life become a garden of opportunities for happiness. Never give up. Never give up on people who love you, and never give up on happiness. Be anti-fragile, stay the course, and don't quit. My precious class of 2020, let the Vedika in you shine, crazy and bright forever. Good luck and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Anuradha, for your sage advice and optimism. Your words never fail to inspire us clearly. This address now brings us to the most awaited part of the program, the main graduation ceremony of our scholars who truly embody the Vedika pledge, being my better self every day. I request Atishi to join Anuradha to present the graduation certificates. I request the scholars to come up as their names are called out to receive their certificates. I now call upon our first scholar, Ayushi Bhajjiwale. Big applause, guys. Astha Gandhi. Louder. Abhilasha Chaudhary. Aditi Prabhu. Akanksha Chauhan. Ananya Kakoti. Anvi Khatri. Apurva Beniwal. Astha Lamba. Your applause is dying down, scholars. Support your class. Ayushi Mehta. Ayushi Jain. Ayushi. Bavleen Kaur. Ayushi. Bhumika Singh. Bhumika Praveen. Devadatta Guha. Bhumika. Devansha Agarwal. Gauri Kalra. Gitanjali Sahni. Gurnaaz Sandhu. Jacqueline Francis. Janvi. Kajal Chawla. Kaushiki Gupta. Komal Rani. Kriti Gambhir. Kritika. Madhulika Mitra. Malika Gulati. Mansi Makkar.
Megha Maheshwari. Scholars, do unmute yourselves and like a louder round of applause. Mehfishan. Nabodita Rao. Mokshika Sharma. Nandini Dange. Nivedita Mishra. Ojas Khurana. Parthavi Verma. Prachi Bajaj. Pratiksha Kanpal. Prerna Agarwal. Ragini Anand. We want to hear a much louder round of applause for each one of you. We have been waiting to meet in person, and here is our chance. Ranhita Bordoloi. Ridhima Sehgal. Samiksha Singh. Sandhya. Shagorika. Sejal Rekhan. Srilekha Mishra. Shubhra Bhardwaj. Simran Jain. Simran Lalwani. Shiva Kirti Mogatala. Shrishti Sood. Shrushti Gupta. Utkrishti Tanija. Sharon Ann Robson. Thank you, Atishi and Anuradha, for giving away the certificates. We will now move on to presenting the Vedika Awards for the class of 2020. I request Atishi and Anuradha to stay on and give away the awards. This year, we will be presenting 2 Vedika Ambassador Awards, 5 Vedika Spirit Awards, 3 Dean's Award, 2 Special Patron Awards, and the Renew Emerging Green Scholar Award. Now, for the first award called the Vedika Ambassador Award. This award has been instituted to acknowledge those scholars who have keenly promoted the mission of the program through deliberate efforts. Please welcome the first awardee, Abhilasha Chaudhary.
Check, check. Is it working? Okay. So, months of hard work and long days have finally paid off today. And I'm so happy that we all are graduating today. I mean, just imagine who we were and where we were in our lives before we started this program and compare it to who we are today and who we have become. Honestly, I'm a completely changed person now who is more empathetic, thanks to Anuradha, who is more resilient, who is more focused, and who has got a never give up attitude. It's like what Anuradha says is a mix of soft and hard skills both. What an amazing and earnest transformation we all have undergone. All of you are real rock stars, and I'm so very proud to know you all. And I'm so happy to be speaking to you today, not because I love the sound of my own voice, which of course I do, but because I get to see all of our wonderful faces shining with pride and potential. I'm so fortunate today because I get to see people who will be the change, and who will be responsible for the change for tomorrow, who will be the tomorrow, two lovely ladies, all of you. And I'm just so overwhelmingly proud of what we have already accomplished and what we are yet to accomplish. Thank you so much, Anuradha and Pramath, for starting an institution like Vedika, for letting us dream, just not dream, but dream big. And thank you, program team, for, for being so honest, for being so patient with our late submissions for, and our deadlines. And finally, thank you, my graduating class 2020, for being so beautiful inside out. And I wish you lots and lots of luck and success until we meet next. Love, love. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhilasha, for that wonderful speech. The second Vedika Ambassador Award goes to Bhumika Praveen.
So this is the special occasion we were told to prepare a speech for. So here goes. In life, we can either look at something as an obstacle or an opportunity. Everyone knows this has been an exceptional year, but pandemic aside, Vedika has taught me that how we perceive something can impact our experience of it. I'm here to talk about the what, how, and why of this learning today. So what I think we should do is be curious and try stuff. Taking up responsibilities expands the horizon of our lives, and I believe exciting things happen at the periphery. So let's work hard and play hard. We never know what doors may open for us. Well, that sounds great, Bhumika, but how do we do that? I'm glad you asked. Take on challenges that seem bigger than you, but don't forget that you're not alone. Right? Take on challenges that seem bigger than you, but don't forget that you're not alone. No problem stands a chance when we all put our minds together. And that's what sisterhood and community is all about. Ain't no mountain high enough when we've got each other's backs. And lastly, why should we do any of this at all? Well, in the words of Hannah Montana, life's what you make it, so let's make it rock. थोड़ा लंबा pause हो गया, sorry, 1 second. Well, in the words of Hannah Montana, life's what you make it, so let's make it rock. I'm so sorry. No. Beautiful.
You want to say something
from Yeah, your heart? Yeah.
Say that. Okay?
Okay. Guys, let's just go out there and kill it. Like, I'll tell you the rest of my speech later, but let's just have a blast.
Well done. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Bhumika. Thank you so much, Bhumika. Now for the Vedika Spirit Awards. The Vedika Spirit Award for a sustained commitment to personal growth is awarded to Komal Rani and Sai Indira. We would like to congratulate Sai Indira, who couldn't join us in person today. We'd like to welcome Komal on stage.
Hello, am I audible? Okay. A girl from a small village, even deprived of basic necessity of a life, standing here is a big dream come true. Good afternoon, everyone. I feel extremely honored and blessed to be standing here today. You know, I still remember when I joined Vedika how I used to feel nervous and hesitant to talk in front of people. And there comes the role of Vedika's Writing and Communication Center. They provided me an additional communication course. They worked hard with me, and their constant support has helped me a lot to made myself both personally and professionally. My program mentor, Sonjoy Mohanty sir, has played a huge role in shaping me as an individual, both personally and professionally. He guided me me the right direction whenever I got stuck. So I want to thank him for his constant support during these 18 months. You know, the curriculum at Vedika has taught me how to prioritize work and strike a balance. So, if I have to sum up my Vedika's journey in one word, it would be transformation. Now, I would like to say thank you to Anuradha ma'am, Gori ma'am, Priya ma'am, and the entire team of Vedika for their immense support during this beautiful 18 months journey. Again, I would say wherever I am standing today is just because of Vedika's contribution. I indeed admire the efforts and endures of Vedika and the supportive system for each and every woman in the program. Once again, thank you so much for believing in me, for trusting me, and for making me realize my true potential during these 18 months. Thank you, everyone. And all the best, everyone.
Thank you, Komal, for your kind, thoughtful, and inspiring words. The Vedika Spirit Award for Intellectual Curiosity and Academic Integrity is awarded to Devdatta Thakurta Guha.
Hi. Good good afternoon, everyone. I have a feeling that I'm gonna never forget this moment. I came to Vedika thinking that I'll be learning management practices, liberal studies, I'll be making a lot of friends, and we'll be having a lot of fun. Instead, I learned life lessons. I learned that values like empathy, gratitude, and compassion can't be learned from textbooks. I learned to be strong and even stronger together. And I made friends with whom I did not just have a lot of fun, but who stood by me during the most difficult of times. I met mentors, incredible mentors, who would always push me to fly high and yet be there to guide me if I must lose direction. Being recognized today has been of great honor, so it will be a little strange to be receiving this without thanking the ones I owe it to. My mother, the entire team at Vedika, friends and mentors, who have collectively acted as a support system and nudged me to be a go getter. And I would like to thank me for finding the strength and the courage to be my better self every day. And now, and now that we all leave our nest and start our corporate journeys, I hope that we all go into the world and be the change we wish to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Devdatta. The Vedika Spirit Award for Exemplary Professional Conduct and Initiative is awarded to Kritika Thaplial.
We've been practicing this speech with Sandeep for 2 days, and I still feel short of words coming here. And he's refused to tell us what this was for the past 2 days. And finally, it's here. It's so overwhelming to see all of you so beautifully dressed and ready to graduate. I want to take this time to express how the Vedika journey was for me and how I would best describe the past 18 months. The closest analogy I could find was seasons. When we all started this program, it had just taken birth, and we just started a new course and new lives. Soon, while after that, I'd say it was summer. We were burdened with all the heat of assignments, nakshatra, Kesla trip, but we still managed to go through that with happiness. But then, very dreadfully, came monsoon with a storm that I would like to call the pandemic. Through those times, we often questioned if we were prepared to go through this. But honestly, the program team was there with us through every moment to tell us that we will get through this and we will get through it together and with wonderful colors. Next, right now, I would describe this as autumn, when we're all coming out of that dreadful time, taking rebirth and moving on to our next paths. And finally, moving on to spring, where I feel the cycle starts once again, once we start our new careers with new lives and new journeys. So, this is how I would describe the past 18 months. It wasn't just 18 months, it was an entire life cycle for me. And I wouldn't have been able to go through this without each one of you. Thank you so much to all of you. All the best. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Kritika. Here's to welcoming spring in our lives. The Vedika Spirit Award for Academic Excellence and Exemplary Conduct is awarded to Pratiksha Kandpal and Samiksha Singh.
Thank you for this honor, and good afternoon to one and all present here. It's hard to believe that the journey, which started 18 months back at F106, will officially end here today. My journey in Vedika has been all about new experiences and meeting one of the most inspiring person and learning from them. Out of all the new occurrences in Vedika for me, my favorite is the new me, the one who is more considerate to others' opinion, the one who is more confident and takes charge even in difficult situation, and the one who has finally acknowledged that it's normal to be an introvert and truly love people. And for this, I would like to extend my warmest gratitude to Anuradha ma'am for the constant love and warmth, the Vedika team, and all our amazing professors for keeping this journey exciting for us even in the middle of the pandemic. And a special thanks to my parents and my sister for the unconditional support and for taking pride in every small thing that I do. I'm sure they must be watching me now, and this clip will go viral in all their WhatsApp groups. So, and my final message for all the lovely ladies, keep rocking with all the sass and all the sincerity. And cheers to our graduation and to the unforgettable 18 months. Thank you, and please keep in touch.
Hello. Now I know why were those online monologues, public speeches, and panel discussion session for, preparing us for the big day. 18 months ago, a very underconfident, shy girl who had just left the corporate job, unclear about what to do in life, took a leap of faith and joined a course which seemed like the road less traveled. My inhibitions then were all girls college, really? Never been a part of all women surrounding ever before. Number two, sharing personal stories every day. That's too much intrusion in my private life. Number three, reading newspapers every single day. That's so much work. Cut to the day, I can truly say that I have made some amazing bonds with the women, the relationship that I would truly cherish for the lifetime. Well, personal stories. Almost everybody knows about my breakup and some embarrassing drunk stories. And yes, I do read newspaper every day now. Thank you so much, Vedika, my teachers, batchmates, program team, and TAs who made this journey possible and memorable ones. Yes, we graduated, and yes, VWC, I followed the rule of three. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratiksha and Samiksha. The final Vedika Spirit Award for embodying outstanding leadership qualities and contributing to the program Beyond the Call of Duty is awarded to Ojas Khurana.
Wow, so many great speeches today. I was just thinking about this doodle I found recently, hidden away in my notes somewhere. It said, to define is to limit, and it had a tiny flower next to it. I drew it in the early days of our program where every class, every lecture, every discussion, every conversation pushed us to question who we were, why we were here, where is it that we want to go. Our answers to these questions changed many times in the last 18 months, till a point where we had no answers at all, just a spirit of questioning. We took our questions outside classrooms, to the institutions that governed us, to the families that raised us. And it is in these often terrifying questions that I found my feminism, my strength, my obstacles, my weaknesses, and most of all, the true value of my tribe. We laughed and we fought. We had ridiculous amounts of chai, and we created a feminist reading circle to revel in each other's questions together. And I mean, this journey that we were on together, so rudely disrupted by 2020, has made me realize that life is dramatically unpredictable. I mean, we're all sitting here today thinking questions like, how many people is it okay to hug? And can we get through this without doing that? But, and one most important thing is actually, as women, we're always taught to be patient and understanding, to have all the answers for everyone, but never questions, no questions. And when we resign ourselves to the things the way they are, when we assume that a question is too complicated, too tedious, too obvious, too inane to ask, we limit ourselves to definitions crafted for us by other people, by society. And that is not enough. That will never be enough for a Vedika scholar. So I'm going to make a vow today, as I hope you will too. I refuse to define the boundaries of my life. I vow to question them always. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ojas, for that hugely inspiring speech. Congratulations. Now, to present the two special patron awards, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Sunita Arora and Ms. Manjula Aluwalia, who have supported these awards over the years. The first patron award is supported by Ms. Sunita Arora. Ms. Arora has always strived to create change through her commitment to empowering women in society, and this award recognizes young Vedika scholars who demonstrate a similar commitment to driving social change in the 21st century. The Dean's Award for Social Entrepreneurship and Academic Proficiency goes to Komal Rani. Congratulations, Komal. The second patron award is supported by Ms. Manjula Aluwalia, who echoes our belief in integrity as one of the most crucial values in a true professional. The Dean's Award for Integrity and Exemplary Conduct goes to Aditi Prabhu.
This is so overwhelming. Yeah. So what do we have in common with Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo? Well, we're all heroes. Sure, we don't slay dragons or fight Voldemort, but we face problems just as scary. Whether it's dealing with the pandemic, Zoom fatigue, or meeting deadlines, we're all fighting our own battles. We draw inspiration from fictional characters, root for their success, but often fail to do that for ourselves. This is your call to an adventure. Accept your challenges, face your fears, and go find the treasure you seek. I'd like to end by thanking everyone at Vedika for helping me cultivate confidence and a growth mindset. I'm equipped to face adversities head on, and for that, I'll always be grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aditi, and congratulations. We now move on to the Dean's Awards. The Dean's Award for Outstanding Performance at the Shadow a Woman Leader module goes to Shrishti Sood.
Good afternoon to everyone. Many batches would come and go, but we would be the one who will be remembered for sure. Kudos to the batch of 2020. We've had several moments at Vedika that we will fondly cherish for times to come. This indeed is one of them, and it's difficult to name all of them, but I will try my best to put to words the essence and the impact of even the smallest of ceremonies that we did here. We began our journey at Vedika with the customary hand impression ceremony, which thereon became a reminder for me to leave a mark of excellence in all my professional endeavors. For me, and for many other fresh graduates in the batch, the shadow module was one such opportunity that is second to none other in experience that I've had so far. Today, as we graduate and walk down the aisle as part of our graduation ceremony, I wish that all of us get re inspired to stay committed to the promise that we made to ourselves 18 months ago as we walked out of LR2 in August 2019. And tomorrow, when we stay committed to that promise and, yes, of course, achieve greater success, let's not forget to look back and acknowledge those who had our back. Thank you so much, the entire Vedika team, Anuradha ma'am, and all the lovely scholars out there. Thank you. Keep in touch.
Thank you, Shrishti, and congratulations. The Vedika Award for Academic Excellence for exemplary pursuit of knowledge, a keen desire for learning, and upholding the highest standards of academic integrity goes to Simran Jain.
They say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. But at Vedika, they say the journey of a lifetime begins with your belief. So 18 months ago, I decided to take a leap of faith and believe in this magic of new beginnings. From someone who was rather clueless about what she wanted to do, Vedika, through its endless learning and unlearning experiences, made me discover my true calling to work in the development space. Now, as this journey ends, I realize that unlike many regular educational experiences where we are constantly focusing on some end goal, Vedika was never about reaching a certain point. This entire journey itself was the point. To my dean, my mentors, and the entire team of Vedika, thank you for this liberating experience that has silenced my inner critic forever. Thank you for my parents for tolerating me and letting me do what I wanted to. Thank you for transforming me into a confident, fearless woman who knows that no matter what she does or where she goes, being a kind, authentic, and empathetic human is the bravest choice she'll ever make.
Thank you, Simran. The Renew Emerging Green Scholar Award for promoting sustainability initiatives is awarded to Bhumika Praveen. The relevance of sustainability cannot be underestimated in today's environment, and we are glad to have Renew Power as our patron. Congratulations, Bhumika. The Dean's Award for Benchmark Professionalism for maintaining excellent standards of professional conduct and integrity goes to Sharon Robson. Sharon, may I please request you to stay on stage? Congratulations, scholars, for your exceptional performance over the last 18 months. Please give yourselves a huge round of applause. Thank you, Atisha and Anuradha, for giving these awards. I now request you to please take your seats. We are delighted that Sharon Robson is also the valedictorian of the class of 2020. Sharon, I now request you to deliver the valedictorian address.
Okay. Take a deep breath. Good afternoon to distinguished guests, Vedika family. A warm welcome to the loved ones watching across the country. And hello to the legendary class of 2020. It is extremely humbling to stand here before you today. It feels surreal to accept that it's been 18 months that we started this journey together. With few dreams, some checklists, and tons of nervousness. The journey of turbulence, added anxiety of the pandemic, a dean so cool who whistles, the program team who sends memes for deadline reminders, amazing faculty whose classes altered our perceptions, a batch who had my back, a roommate who mothers me, a best friend who is always there for me. A little broken, very confused me who was ready to settle for little in life, transformed to someone who was ready to learn with confidence, to learn to go for the moon, to get the moon. Not much has changed since we started our journey together. We still continue making tough decisions and embrace the awaited new chapters of life. But today, there is a difference. We are all here with better informed and better equipped with a reserve of knowledge, armored with confidence and resilience to face the world and what may come. The classrooms and Zoom classes taught us not only management lessons, but lessons for life that we will cherish forever. And this experience would have been incomplete without you, batch of 2020. A bunch of beautiful, bright, and eclectic women who made this journey unforgettable. The discussions, debates, disagreements, feminist reading club, or the Bayas cold coffee meet. We have created something far, far better than a network. We have created a bond through distress, peaks of anxiety, finding jobs amidst a pandemic, and sharing it through Zoom calls, longing for tight hugs, and finally celebrating the new chapters of life as professionals in our small hostel rooms, screaming all at once for all the joys and tears that we longed for in the past 10 months, all the hugs we missed due to social distancing, and all the chatter untold due to distance and anxiety. We are special because there has never been a batch or will be a batch who bore the pandemic together patiently and nervously, but now filled with hope and is ready to go to the world to show what small deeds of kindness can do, what empathy and hard work can change, that our mascara might smudge but not our might. We might get cramps, but that never stops from aiming the sky. Sandeep reminded me that this is not an Oscar speech, but since there are very slim chances of me giving one, I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to Appa, Amma, and Michu, who are watching right now, for their unconditional love, support, and generosity. My partner for inspiring me. Anuradha for her eternal optimism and warmth. Program team for their patience, determination to reinforce the values this institution stands for. Teachers and mentors for giving me your time and for making me feel heard. For pushing us to think beyond our boundaries and making us a community of leaders. Non-teaching staff for your care and lighting up our days with your bright, beautiful smiles. Last but not the least, to this community of women who support and stand by each other. Thank you, Vedika, for empowering our minds with a much open one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for that wonderful, inspiring speech. It was definitely better than Oscar's speech, according to me. And now, the moment we all have been waiting for. I am privileged to invite our guest of honor, Atishi, to deliver the convocation address.
First of all, thank you to the entire Vedika team, to Anuradha for inviting me here. It's an honor to be here amongst all such wonderful, bright, excited young women. And one thing that I've realized in the past 15, 20 minutes when I've been hearing speeches from all of you is that probably I don't have very much left to say. And I think that anything that I say after hearing the wonderful words, the inspiring words that have come from all of you is definitely going to fall short, because it's been wonderful and heartwarming to hear all of you. For given the fact that I am a politician and I spend much of my day battling with bureaucrats and other such species like government servants who sort of lack the energy and enthusiasm to even move their finger from here to here, it is wonderful to see so many young people out here, to see all the energy, all the enthusiasm, all the catcalling that has been happening, and all the support that you clearly give each other. I think the Vedika team really deserves a round of applause. You have, from what I have seen in the last hour and a half, I think that definitely Anuradha and the entire Vedika team should be proud of what. And as all of you, as one of you said, leave the nest and go out into the world. I remember when I was being, just minutes before I came here, when someone from your staff was helping me put on this gown, I was just thinking that the last time I wore this gown was for my own graduation, which was many, many years ago. And there's definitely a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. I'm sure a lot of you are nervous. And I think that when we step out into the world, one of the things that we have to realize, and especially given that it's an all-women's institution, as we go out into the world, one of the things that one realizes is that the world is not a fair place. The world is not an equal place. And as I was just coming here again, the lady from the faculty who was accompanying me asked me that, how does it feel like being a woman in politics? And I think that what it feels like being a woman in politics, or what it feels like being a woman in general in a society that is unequal, of course, myself included, I'm sure many of you also have felt in your life that the world is not a fair place, that why does this happen to me? But I think at this point of time, and I say this to a lot of young people, one of the words that we should really throw out of the window when we step out into the world is should. This should happen, that should happen, aisa hona chahiye, aisa hona chahiye. The reason that we should throw that word should out of the window is because it's not just enough to say that this is how it should be. It is not just enough to say that something unfair is happening. I think if the world was a fair place, the world was an equal place, at least if I was to see, I would definitely not be doing what I do. And I think it is the responsibility of each of us that rather than have that should word in our vocabulary, we need to have it in our actions. And I think it is the responsibility of each of us to go out there and make the world a better place. I'm sure all of you are all set for extremely well-paying corporate jobs and with lots of zeros in your paychecks. And I wish you all the success for it. But the one thing that I will say, and I think that yes, definitely doing well in your careers, having lots of zeros in your paychecks, buying that flat with a good home loan deal, and that nice car and that phone is extremely important. But I think there is something even more important than that. I think something even more important than that is how we contribute to the society that we live in. And I think that is what is going to give us a sense of meaning and a sense of purpose for a longer time to come. And especially being women and coming from a program that is specifically for women. You know, all of you sit here. A couple of years ago, I was addressing a group of young women who study in a Delhi government school. I have done a lot of work in government schools in Delhi over the past 5-6 years. And I was addressing this girls' school somewhere in East Delhi. And there were, I think, 400 or 500 girls, and I was addressing them in the assembly. And so I was asking them a few things. They would raise their hands. We had a mic that was going around. And I asked them this one question. I asked them, how many of you have brothers who study in private schools? And 90% of the girls sitting in the audience raised their hands. So if for any family who has just enough resources to pay for what they consider good quality education for one child, that money is spent on their son. And one would think that living in the 21st century, and when I see all of you, and when I myself come from a privileged background, I went to probably some of the best institutions across the country and the globe. I myself might never have felt discriminated because I'm a woman. But I think that is a privilege that very few women in our country have. And for all of those girls who probably come from low-income households, they have been sent into government schools because for their families, their education doesn't matter. And I think we must remember that that is the world that still exists. That is a world that still exists for almost 90-95% of the population of this country. And we have a responsibility towards that. I remember another such incident when, again, speaking to some students in a school, we started parent-teacher meetings in government schools as a part of the many reforms that we did. And we were asking some children, you know what happens in parent-teacher meetings? As anyone who's ever been to school, you don't want your parents to come to school. You don't want them to hear everything that you've been up to. And we were just having a light conversation with some students and was jokingly asking them, I think it was the minister who was asking them, that should we call off your PTMs so that your parents won't come in and they wouldn't scold you. And one young girl got up and said, no sir, PTM bilkul band mat karna. So I asked her why. She was coming from one of the rural outskirts of Delhi, one of the rural areas on the borders of Delhi. And she said that पहले जब मैं स्कूल से घर जाती थी तो मैं घर में मम्मी के साथ सारा काम करती थी, खाना बनवाती थी, सफाई करती थी, कपड़े वगैरह धोती थी. कहती हैं जब से पीटीएम में मेरी मैम ने मम्मी को बताया है कि मैं पढ़ाई में अच्छी हूँ, अब जब मैं घर जाती हूँ तो मेरी मम्मी कहती हैं बेटा तू पढ़ाई कर ले, सारा काम मैं कर लूंगी. And it goes to show that if one is looking to bring about change, one can bring about change in the lives of a lot of people. And I would like to urge all of you, as I said, that yes, it is wonderful to have lots of zeros in your paycheck and to have that nice car and that nice apartment. But I think in the long run, what is going to give us satisfaction, what is going to give us a sense of purpose, is what change we were able to bring in making the lives of those around us better. And I'm sure, as I look at all of you bright young women, I'm sure that you're going to go a long way. Life is not always going to be easy. Life is not always going to be full of successes. There are going to be times when you put in a lot of effort in something and it does not succeed. In 2019, I contested the parliamentary elections from the East Delhi seat. It was a grueling campaign, a campaign that lasted for almost 1 year. And as I was again sharing just while coming up over here, that during that 1 year, the nature of how grueling a campaign and how much time and energy it takes is the fact that in this year-long campaign, the number of times I got to eat dinner in my own home was in single digits. And yet, despite that, and despite what I felt of having done a lot of good work in the area, of having made a difference, of having run a great campaign, not only did I lose the election, I came number 3. And I think that there was a possibility at that point of time that I could just have said that, okay, this is not for me. And after all this effort, if one cannot make people believe in one's value, then maybe one should go back to doing something else. Maybe one should go back to a life and to a profession where you get more hours of sleep, where you get to spend more time with your family, eat dinner at your own home. But it was interesting, and I think this is where mentors and people whom you work with matter a lot. I remember the very day that the results were coming out and the counting was still going on, and it was very clear that I had not won the election.
one of my mentors, who also happens to be the chief minister of this city, said to me at that point of time, "अच्छा ठीक है, ये वाला election तो हो गया आतिशी, अब assembly का election लड़ना है और जीतना है." And I think that is the courage that one often requires. Life is never going to be simple. Life is not always going to be successful. But what matters is the fact that if you have belief in yourself, then I think that one has to understand that it's not always that success comes in one go. And it's not always that the journey is easy. But if you have that belief in yourself, and if you're out there to do something better in the world, I'm sure that you're going to have a fantastic journey. And I'm sure that you're all going to do extremely well. Thank you once again to the entire Vedika team for inviting me. And one of the wonderful young ladies who was giving a speech said that what is common between Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo? That you're all heroes. I think you are much bigger superheroes than all of them. And you're probably going to face much bigger challenges than all of them. And I'm sure by the time we come to the end of this story, you would have conquered much bigger demons, much bigger challenges, and shall come out on the top. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Atishi, for your grit, for your candor, for your wise counsel, and for showing every young woman in the audience today what is possible when one dares to dream. Thank you so much for reinforcing the Vedika Credo, #Don't Quit. We are extremely grateful that you could join us today. And on behalf of Vedika, please accept a token of our appreciation. Thank you. Innate to the ethos of Vedika is abundant gratitude. This ceremony would be incomplete without expressing our appreciation for everyone who makes Vedika, its mission, and days like today possible. On behalf of the Vedika family, I would now like to invite Ashish Gupta, friend, faculty, mentor, goodwill ambassador, and trustee Vedika Foundation to deliver the vote of thanks. Please welcome Ashish Gupta.
Thank you very much. It's a duty I carry out with utmost pleasure. Thank you, Atishi. Thank you for being with us on this very special occasion. Your words will stay with us, at least with me, for a long time. Thank you for your authenticity and for being who you are. We could not have wished for a better convocation speaker. Given the demands on your time and the pandemic-induced uncertainty, I'm truly grateful that you are here with us in person. Thank you. Thank you once again. Circumstances have prevented many of you who are integral to the Vedika family from being present here today to say farewell to the class of 2020. I'm glad we are able to live stream this afternoon, and I would like to thank you for joining us virtually. Your support towards the program and the scholars, and your cooperation in adapting to the changes this year, be it online classes, a virtual shadow module, or to mentoring our scholars remotely, has made the journey into the unexplored territory of the online world easier for our scholars and the Vedika team. I would also like to thank all of us, all of you who are in attendance with us here today, from our governing council, Savita Mahajan, and from our faculty, Ankur Kulshresht, Francis Rebello, Vikas Gupta, and Vishal Malik. Without your support and cooperation, delivering on our promise to the scholars this year would not have been possible. This year especially, I also want to thank you for believing in the Vedika mission enough to go beyond the call of duty, be it to teach physically on campus, to mentor our scholars in such uncertain times, or to offer your guidance and wisdom in helping us navigate through this year. I know our scholars are grateful for all you do and will make you proud. Thank you. Next, our partners and colleagues at 9.9. You've been co-travelers with us on this journey, from financial support to moral support and everything in between. We would not have been able to get this far without you. Given the demands of these last 10 months, I want to specifically thank members of the Vedika team who, without question and without fail, took upon the responsibility of ensuring that the scholars received a seamless online learning experience and the safest possible environment in the hostel. Satya Prakash and Pradeep Kumar, who oversaw the upgradation of infrastructure in the hostel and classrooms for digital and hybrid classes. Our hostel wardens, Om Prakash and Sucharita, who worked tirelessly to ensure the hostel was ready to host students and who soldiered through COVID themselves without ever losing the resolve to do their best by the scholars. Can I ask you to join us here? I would also like to thank the housekeeping staff in the office and the hostel. Sarvesh, Sunil, Pramod, Lallan, Vijay, and Rajesh. For the help and support they provided each day to ensure that the institution functioned smoothly. Without all of your effort this year, we would have had a much bumpier ride. Thank you. The Vedika team, unstinting in its commitment and passion. Words aren't sufficient to acknowledge your contributions to bring Vedika alive and taking it from strength to strength. I would like to thank each team member present here today. I'm going to call you out, please, if you can join us. Ruchi Mahajan, Monica Vadwa, Deepa Kumar, Rupa Vasudeva, Rahul Lalchandani, Esther, Ajay Kaushik, Sandeep Sen, Karan Tuli, Inara Khan, Rab Simar, Shreya Agarwal, Priyanka Kapoor, Pushkar Sarkar, Snehi Gupta, Varun Sharma, Priyadarshini, Nandini Bagai, Moksh Agarwal, and of course, Anuradha Das Mathur. To all the attendees of our live stream, to the parents, patrons, recruiters, mentors, early supporters, volunteers, and well-wishers of Vedika, thank you for helping us reach the milestone of 5 years of Vedika. If you, each one of you, and your parents and families had not taken a leap of faith to give 18 precious months of your life to this program, Vedika would not be possible. Seeing the remarkable transformation in each one of you, and now the exciting roles that you are in the process of securing for yourselves, I'm confident that Vedika will not just sustain, but also thrive. You are paving the way not just for future generations of Vedika scholars, but for future women leaders of the country. If this year has shown us one thing, it is that nothing remains the same. One day, most of us will be gone, figuratively and literally. So you carry a huge responsibility to protect, nurture, and sustain this program as a legacy of its original founders for future generations. So I would like to thank you for taking the leap of faith to join Vedika. Thank you for betting on us, for fighting the naysayers. And thank you, Vedika parents and families, for supporting our scholars in their decision to join the class of 2020. In thanking each and every parent for supporting the Vedika mission, every year we request that our scholars join us in doing so. This year, your parents are not present with us in person, but I know they are watching the live stream excitedly and with pride as you graduate. May I ask all of you to rise and express your gratitude towards your parents. Say thank you. Hold your hands, give them a thumbs up, tell them you love them, whatever works for you. My personal congratulations to each one of you and all my blessings and best wishes for a happy and fulfilling future. Remember, we see in you a set of 62 leaders who have the potential to not just be the best in the world, but to be the best for the world. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Ashish. For everyone at Vedika, Pramad's Chhatra Chaya is precious and eternal. And today, while he's not here in person, he's here in spirit and also in voice. Here's a short message from him on this very special occasion.
Dear scholars,
दूसरे पे क्या हुआ? दूसरे पे क्या हुआ? दूसरे पे क्या हुआ? ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। दूसरे पे क्या हुआ? उसको वहाँ प्लेस करा दो फिर पहले ही। अभी है टाइम। मैं वहाँ प्लेस करा देता हूँ, वहीं आएंगे। एक ही जगह स्टक हो गई ना टच में। कमेंट करता रहे वो कैमरे में ना। हाँ तो बोल दो कि थोड़ा हाँ इस तरीके से नहीं
I know you can hear us, Kamar. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And thank you always for sharing your blessings with us. Nothing at Vedika is complete without invoking a sense of belonging. In our pursuit of goals that are beyond the self, what better way to bind everyone together than the national anthem? Please join us in singing along to this beautiful rendition of the anthem.
Thank you everyone once again for being here today. I now request you to remain in your seats as the ceremonial procession moves towards the lawn, and do join us for lunch thereafter. Thank you. So,
हमने नहीं यार अपने मुंह उधर से आपने किया है। आप स्पीकर चलाओ ना अपना वॉल्यूम स्पीकर तो चला लो ना वहाँ पे म्यूट क्यों किया आपने वॉल्यूम अप कर दो ना अब यार क्या मुझे लगा उधर से होगा यार छोड़ दो मत छोड़ दो यार छोड़ दो यार चल रहा था आपने छूने का क्या जरूरत आपको कोई नहीं छोड़ दो एक ही तो काम था स्पीकर को म्यूट कर दो तो मैंने स्पीकर जा रहा है ना साउंड भी होगा बड़ा पता नहीं किसे लग रहा है चल भी रहा है बंद वैसे बिल्कुल पहुंच भी हो गया जैसे अभी बंद हुआ साइलेंट हो गया, बिल्कुल ही साइलेंट हो गया। तो इधर साइलेंट मोड आ गया तो सो रहा ये सब 15 नारी बनी। ज़्यादा पढ़ोगे तो चूतिया लोग थोड़ा सा पढ़ते उनको देखिए तो बंद करो वैसा ना करो। चल 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 सेशन खत्म होगा, स्पीकर वो थोड़ा उधर करेंगे फिर वो लॉन्ग हो जाएगा। म्यूजिक चलाना है तो फोन है, बोल रहे कि हमारा नॉइज आ रहा है। बोले कि वो आवाज आ रहे हैं यहाँ से जूम से आ रहा है। जूम से
Dear scholars, parents, faculty, mentors, and the Vedika team, good afternoon. A year ago, if you had told me I would be speaking to you through an audio recording